Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. We'll start now in 1 minute. So this Parshat Chukat. Parshat Chukat, starting with the command of to make red cow for purifying ourselves from death impurity. And what is this death impurity? What is this command? We'll talk a little bit. And what is this mitzvah? And what is the inner meaning of this mitzvah? And we know that everything is by Hashgacha Pratit, which means there is a real connection of this mitzvah to what we had marked this week. We marked the day of the year of the Rebbe. 30 years ago, we had a moment which we didn't see the Rebbe, and we know that before that the Rebbe started to speak with us about redemption and about how we're going to see the redemption. And we believe that the words of the Rebbe that say that this generation will see the Mashiach has to happen. And of course, everything have connection. The parasha and the event that happening. And for that, we will start, first of all, what the Torah start. The Torah says, the Torah in this parasha said, Zot Chukat Torah, the Moshe Rabbeinu received a command from Hashem. This is the law of Torah. And he commanded to do the mitzvah of making the parah aduma. So, as we know in the Judaism, there is a concept of pure and impure. And a person who was not pure enough, and what is pure, we will come and talk about it in a few minutes, he would not able to enter to some certain places in Bet HaMikdash. And if he wanted to come to enter to Bet HaMikdash to bring the offering, he has to first of all purify himself. So we know that there is a few kind of purification. There is a purification in mikveh, while a person he has some impurity that's coming from his body, he has to wash himself, has to enter to the mikveh. And then after a day pass, he becoming pure. But there is another level of purity and impurity, and the most severe of them is the impurity of death. The impurity of death, it's if someone was staying in the same house with a dead body, or he touched by any chance a death, or he touched anyone who touched another person who touched dead, or that staying in the same house with a dead person, and so on, which means even many people touched one each other. In some levels, all of them become impure, because from the highest impurity level, which is called in Judaism, called impurity of death. And then Moshe Rabbeinu received very, very big, very weird mitzvah. Not weird, we cannot say on mitzvah or weird, but we said very different, very difficult to understand a command. And this command called Chukah. We'll talk about what is Chukah for a few minutes. But Moshe Rabbeinu received a command, and the command is as follows. You look for a red cow. What does it mean, red cow? Which means there is a, if you can see it like that, it's kind of a very strong brown, which is not, which never carry any kind of weight, never used for another work, didn't serve any purpose. You take this cow, it's supposed to be a specific age. You take it, you slaughter it out of Bet HaMikdash, together with the Kohen, then you burn it totally, and after you burn the cow, you take the ashes and you mix it with the live water, and you take two types of plants, which type of a plant and what is type of a plant. So again, it's one kind of grass and one kind of tree, and you take two branches, two pieces of this plants, dip it in the water, and when people enter to the Jerusalem, the Holy Land of Jerusalem, you sprinkle over them, because, when they come to the Bet HaMikdash, they have to purify themselves by few drops, which they have to do it 2 times during 1 week, in the 3rd day and in the 7th day. And then they can enter to Bet HaMikdash, they can offer their offerings, they can be in the holy places. This is the halacha. Shlomo HaMelech, he was a wise man, the wisest man on earth. And Shlomo HaMelech himself said about this command, he said, Amarti ahkema vehi rechoka mimeni. I said I am smart, but this is too far above my understanding. It's known that Shlomo HaMelech was able to explain all the details of the Torah, even the secrets of Torah. Even the most difficult things to explain, he used to be the wisest man. But on this mitzvah, he said, it's above my understanding. And what is very difficult, first of all, the entire mitzvah is very, very different from what we know in Judaism. To take a red cow, cut it, slaughter it, then burn it, then take the ashes, mix it with the water. You take the water and sprinkle on people who coming to Bet HaMikdash, to the holy area. And more than that, there is another one surprise, that the people who was doing the work, there was some Kohanim, that they used to do the work of the preparing of the red cow. The same people, they themselves became impure after they did the work, which means this command is actually making the impure pure, and the pure makes them impure. Command said that after they did the work of sprinkling the holy waters of the red cow on the people, then in the same moment, the same person who did the work, they themselves became impure until the evening. They need to go to a mikveh, and after they go to the mikveh, in 1 day need to pass, and then they can become pure. And this is another difficult to understand how something that makes other pure makes the Kohen who is doing it impure. And if Shlomo HaMelech did not understand it, so what we are trying. Another thing that is very important to remember on this point, the Torah called to this mitzvah a חוקה. What is חוקה? חוקה it is there is three types of mitzvot. We know that the Torah we have 614 mitzvot, 248 positive, and which mean to do, and there is another 365 shasa mitzvot which we should not do, prohibitives. And they are all divided for three groups. Group number one, this is called mishpatim. Mishpatim, which mean a common law. What is this common law? The mishpatim means it's a mitzvot which we understand in our mind why we're doing it. For example, do not steal. Everyone understand what is a ratio, what is a reason why we are commanded not to steal. Because Hashem wants to be a clear world with honesty. There is another level of mitzvot. There is mitzvot which called edut, witnesses. What it means? It's all the mitzvot that we are doing to remember an event, to remember a thing. For example, tefillin. We are keeping the tefillin, we are remember Hashem. Remember the unity of Hashem to Am Yisrael. We're keeping tzitzit. We are trying to remember the fact that we are priest nation and we should not do mistakes. And when we're doing another law, like for example, mitzvah of matzah, we are not supposed to, we're doing it because we are commemorate the Egypt time, which means the time that we came from Egypt. And there is another one group of mitzvot, which mitzvot that there are no clear reason, no reason which is explained. The Torah not explained what is the reason behind this mitzvot. It is mean a law, a simple law without an explanation. It said in the Midrash, חוקה חקקתי ואין לך רשות להרהר אחריה. I made a law and you have no permission to doubt about it. This is in the same mitzvah. And the same mitzvah is of mitzvah of red cow. This is a mitzvah that belongs to this group of mitzvot. Mitzvot that we are not understand in our mind properly. We can estimate, we can learn, there is some midrashim, but the Torah not given any kind of clear reason why this mitzvah, the Torah not the Torah not giving a clear reason why this mitzvah are existed. Another one thing, the Torah also המילה חוקה, זאת חוקת התורה, which in the plain translation it's law, it also can be explained in a different way. In Hebrew, לחוקק, חוקה, it's also to engrave. There is what it's called letter of engraving. Now, what is the difference between letter of engraving and letter of writing? Letter of write that you wrote, it's written on a paper, you can pay, if you want to erase it, there are ways. However, letters which you engraved, they are letters like in tombs or in memorial stones. This is letter that made to stay a long time. These are letters which for years will be seen and will not be easy to erase them. For example, we saw now in the news someone sent a tomb from India 1300 years ago. You could still see letters which engraved 1300 years back, still until today. And the letters of, if it was written in a handwriting or in a kind of paint, kind of color, there is no chance for it to remain such a big time. Which means there is a significance. The Torah gives significance to these laws and compare them like it's engraved law. It's not just a regular law which written. These laws are engraved. And we need also to understand that. So the Admor Zaken explain first on the way of the Chassidut what is actually this mitzvah of the red cow, and why and what is for us in our days to take it. In Chassidut, the Torah explained us, the Torah Chassidut explained us that all the problems and all the issues and all the sickness and all the judgments, or all the what we call klipot, it's all our ideas that the person might have in his soul, which means if person have a sadness, it's kind of a sickness. It can create him to do situation which is not right. It can lead him to take wrong decisions. And there is different level of sickness which can even affect the person in many ways. And we're talking about the spiritual sickness, not material sickness. And even the material sickness usually derived from some spiritual sickness as a result. And every person, every human being having the capacity to be active and to be happy and to do positive things in life. And however, our circumstances, our issues are avoiding us sometimes to fulfill this message, this mission. And there are, in our levels, in our hearts, in our mind, could be a different of layers of things that avoid us from doing the right things. And there, as much as a person is more spiritually fit, it will be hard for him to fulfill the potential of his neshama, of his soul, to do what he's supposed to do in the world. And how you get spiritual thickness? As much as a person make himself habit to do bad things, that's it. It's keeping remark on his heart. It's keeping remark on your, or once person doing something, repeat on it several times. The remark on the heart become hard. And to remove that, you need a special effort. To change the habit, you need a special effort. More than that, a person, chas v'shalom, after he already made himself so much, sometimes the soul became so sick, he reached to a level that he is dead spiritually, not physically, spiritually. How is it spiritual death can happen? The Torah HaChassidut explained it and said, person is not able to anymore to enjoy spiritual things in the life, in his life. He already became careless about any kind of holy things or Torah or mitzvot. Whenever there is some mitzvah of Torah, he says, I don't care. There is a holiday, it's not making him excited anymore. His soul became kind of either in deep sleep, either he's like in almost a death spirituality. Yeah, he lives, he eats, he drinks, he going to sleep, he wake up in the morning, but still, he feels he's not doing what he's supposed to do. His soul sits in very darkness. Even that he could be in a situation which he has money and he has good fitness, but his soul inside is completely dark and quiet and not excited anymore from anything that is connected to Torah. Not excited anything that connected to divinity. Careless, like a dead body that not react, same thing. And then, to take a person out of this situation, it's almost impossible. He already lost excitement for everything. Now, to bring him back to get excited from something which he long ago not excited anymore, it's like revival, someone to revive him from the death. And it could be very big problem. Very difficult. Very difficult to take the person and make him again joyful and cheerful to do mitzvot, to do Torah, to learn, that he will feel from this satisfaction, because he's not there anymore. His mind is busy with other things, with his work, with his other day-to-day worries, and he's not anymore reacting to anything holy. So, the Torah gives an order to do the red cow. What is this red cow spiritually? We know that every person have an animal soul and have divine soul. Tanya explained, and the Zohar explained, that the animal soul wants one thing. The divine soul wants a different thing. The divine soul wants to pray, wants to do mitzvot, wants to help other people. And this is what makes the divine soul happy. The animal soul wants a different thing. She wants to eat, first of all, to drink, to have a comfortable life. The animal soul taking care about itself much more than taking care about the others. The animal soul will put you in a situation which you have a pleasure from worldly things. Person can get excited from a car, which the soul doesn't care about it. The animal soul can get excited about it, but the divine soul doesn't care which car you are going. The body cares. The animal soul cares. Same thing, the animal soul can get excited from new clothing, from beautiful stuff, which are worldly, and they are day to day. However, the divine soul not getting excited from this. What the divine soul will get excited again? From Torah and mitzvot. They heard good shiur, they heard good they heard good voice, good song, spiritual song. They heard some, there are many items which the spiritual enriching the person did something good for others, it fulfill him with a good light, with a joy, that he was able to do such mitzvah. But the animal soul not excited from this. The animal soul actually feel a burden when we see someone. It's very hard to go to synagogue in the morning. To me, it's very hard to keep Shabbat because the animal soul wants something else. So the person is always with a constant battle. The soul wants one thing, the animal soul, the body wants another thing. Jewish is always carry this conflict with him all the time. On one side, every Jew will tell you he wants to do mitzvot, he wants to come close to Hashem, he wants to make sure that his neshama wants to do the right thing, but when it's come to the factor, to the action, he's different, he's in a different place. It's hard. You talk to someone and said, why are you not keeping Shabbat? I want to keep Shabbat. What can I do? I have to do some work. I have to do some this. I have to answer someone in message. Again, there is a battle. There is a battle between the animal soul, between the divine soul. And the same is happening with all of us all the time. There is a constant battle between the animal soul and between the divine soul. But as we said, it could be a situation which the animal soul reached to a situation that the person is careless anymore. The animal soul won so many times. So many processes already the animal soul achieved with a personality, which means person sometimes wake up in the morning and the only thing that he worried and the only thing that he cared about the entire day is how to make himself, his body needs more successful, more, and the neshama, the soul is completely dead or almost dead, which means what the divine soul wants not getting expressed. What is really getting expressed? The only animal soul. So how to come out from this situation? So the Torah Chazidut tell us that there is a process, and the process is similar to what the process is described at the time of Matan, at the time of Bet HaMikdash, when people wanted to come holy and enter to the Bet HaMikdash. They had to purify themselves from any kind of impurity that connected to a death. And what was the process? We repeat. First thing, they used to choose a red cow. What is red? Red in Judaism symbolizes the fire, lust, ambitious, very strong lust, or very strong, ambitious, which to do something for your own self, like, and red cow, which means animal soul with red ambitious. The person said that the first thing is to slaughter the animal. What it means? The first step, the person wants to become pure and closer to Hashem. Whatever he feels that he's very strong, ambitious to do for himself, not talking about the entire thing that he do, but he takes some kind of his desires and he give up on it. He's totally slaughter it. Then he's doing more than that. He burn it. He burn it how? With the fire. And what is fire is? Fire is a heat of Torah. Symbolize the heat of Torah. Which means by big efforts of doing Torah, he burned his own lust and make it an ashes. He himself right now became a self-nullifier like an ashes. And then the same ashes has to be mixed with a pure water. What is pure water? It's also one of the reflects of the Torah. Divine knowledge that coming in Torah also compared, and the Chachamim was giving it analogy for a water, for a live water. And then you mix it with a live water. After that, you mix it with a live water, and it's called Mei Hatat. It's something which can purify something else, someone else. The same person who, after he did such a tshuva, which he burned his own lust, and succeeded to enter with the fire of Torah, and become himself as the ashes, and mixed with the water, which means receive divine knowledge to himself. It's not anymore a red cow. Whatever remains was what already the cow has been turned to, has turned to into holy waters. And the same water you are sprinkling on the other, which means from the same person, it could be even knowledge to others to become impure. And there is also another aspect. The aspect is that sometimes even the Kohen who's supposed to help the other to get pure, he himself losing from his impurity a little bit. Then he coming back. But the Admor HaZaken tells us to look on this mitzvah in a deeper way. As a process to take ourselves from ourselves, the shells, to take from ourselves all the impurity, all the day-to-day life that we avoid us from being excited and being alive about the Torah and mitzvot. Once person doing it, then he's entered to the holy place, which means he's entered to the upper worlds in spiritual way. Every person of us have 4 levels. There is a basic level of being where we're doing, eating, drinking. And there is also our spirit, which is our internal talk. Above this, there is a soul, which is the intention behind the reason of why we have been created. And there is another place which is called a life, and it is simple life, which is joined to the source of life, which is Hashem. And above this, there is Yehidah, which means the part of the soul which only wants to be together with God. And this is called the Bet Mikdash. If person, that everyone have its own Bet Mikdash, if person succeed to elevate himself from being a person who are busy of his own needs, day-to-day needs, he needs to eat, he needs to drink, he needs to anything that he needs, but he succeed to take himself, to go more inside and examine his own spiritual talk, which means whatever his process of thought, speak, and action. And then go another level, which is asking himself, why I'm here? Why my neshama is created? Why? What is the reason that I'm able, that I am in this place, in this world? And after he answered him that, yes, I'm here to do what Hashem wants, he's reaching to the upper level, which is on Bet Mikdash, which is a place where Hashem is revealed in his soul. Because every soul is together and unite with his creator. And this is something which need to be done through a letter of engraving. What it means? We know that in our internal talk, there are so many, we have so many thoughts. In a minute, a person can think a lot of thoughts. There are letters, there are speech, a word that a person say from his mouth, there are so many. But it is, every one of us says that we have a tablet of covenant. As per the Chassidut, we have tablet of covenant in the heart, which means whatever is important and dear for us. There are some important principles that every one of us writing on our heart. Every one of us tells ourselves what we are. This principle we will not cross anymore. And there are things which we are in a different level, which means we are write it, we note it, we kept it in our mind, but it's not yet engraved. Some people have, everyone engraving himself what is the most important thing that he will never forget. Some people engraved the fact that they need to respect their parents. For them, it's something to engrave. They remember the goodness that the parents did to them. For them, respecting their parents is the most important thing. Some people want to say, I want to be straight. There are some principles which I will never cross. However, how it is to put the existence of God and the fact that we are here coming to the world as a pure people, to do a pure work in order to purify the world, how this to engrave in our heart? Here is the Admor HaZaken explain. Do the work of Para Aduma. Take yourself out of the enjoyments of the world. Put yourself in a different level. Put yourself in a different level where you are so much alive with Torah that you already self-nullified like an ashes, and you're already having so much water of Torah, so much knowledge, divine knowledge, and that you're able to influence other and purify other. Then you have been reached to a situation which Torah is already engraved in you, and not just written in another one of the thoughts, not one of the talks which you do. It's something that engraved. It's become a principle which you will never go against. And this is the purpose. And this is the purpose of us. Obviously, this have demand a great task, a person to turn himself from one to another. In the olden times, during Bet HaMikdash, by the action of making this Torah, this law, which was not understood at all, everyone of Am Yisrael was understanding that they need to uplift themselves. This kind of ceremony, searching a red cow, cutting it, it was something that symbolized much more higher than that. But in our time, when we not have Bet Mikdash, and we not have cow, red cow, to how to do that, the process is there with us to do. The process is there to purify our soul, to make it awake for Torah and Mitzvot. We'll conclude just with mentioning again, this week, on Gimel Tammuz, we had the day of the year which suddenly we stopped seeing the Rebbe. The Rebbe already told us that in our generation we're supposed to see Mashiach. However, then in 1994, 30 years from today, suddenly, Chas v'shalom, where is the prophecy? And we know 100% that the prophecy is supposed to happen, because once that the prophet is a real prophet and we tested him so many times, we should not anymore hesitate. And if the Rebbe said that this generation will see the Mashiach, we are commanded to believe. And here again, and one of the things that I was thinking, we have commanded Shema Yisrael, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם. Don't believe, don't go after your eyes. Don't search a godly, earthy God. Don't try to understand everything. Use your faith in order to reach to the place which not everything that you see in your eyes, this is the real reality. The reality is much bigger than that. And it's the same thing like the Paraduma. Person could invest himself in entire life on a bluff, on a food, on work, on making money, but he forgets the main thing why he came into the world. Which means, in a such way, he believed too much to his eyes, and this is the only kind of life that he's supposed to see. For a person thinking that if I will not go to university, I'm not saying not to go to university, but if I will not invest at the university and I will come to study also in Shabbat, for example, how can I be getting a livelihood, which is totally wrong. Hashem running the world and it's all test. And the same test happened with us 30 years ago. It's happened with us also when Moshe Rabbeinu came out from Egypt. Am Yisrael saw that Moshe Rabbeinu, they saw in Har Sinai after 40 days, Rashi said, והראו להם מיתתו של Moshe, they seen Moshe dead. That's why they did the golden calf. They believed in their eyes. After some time, Moshe Rabbeinu came and they saw, they didn't accept, they didn't understood the reality correct at all. And the same thing in our generation. We should not believe in our eyes. We believe only to the voice of God. גזרה גזרתי בחוקת חקקתי. If Hashem said that this is generation of Mashiach, and already it came and said by the true prophet of the generation, what we care, what we see in our eyes. Our eyes are very wrong in their perception. We don't know exactly what happened, but we know one thing, that the word of Hashem is correct. And this is, Be'ezrat Hashem, we know and believe this much that we had the merit to hear the voice of the Rebbe that tells us that Mashiach will come and we coming out to a new era. Be'ezrat Hashem is the same, this will happen. During the years since the time of Bet HaMikdash, since the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, 9 red cows has been made. Every time they used to make 1 red cow, it was enough for few decades, sometimes more than that. They was mixing, keeping them ashes aside and mixing little bit in 1 bulk of water, which everyone was sprinkled few drops. Only 9 has been done throughout the history. And the 10th, Rambam said, and it's written in several places, that Melech HaMashiach will do. The Melech HaMashiach is supposed to take us out from our final impurities, from our final way that we think the world in a very, very, very mundane, very, very worldly, very, very low way of seeing the reality. The reality is much more wide. And this is supposed to happen by Melech HaMashiach. And the Rebbe already started this work by teaching us the Torah of Chassidut. Be'ezrat Hashem, soon enough, we will see the Rebbe doing the 10th cow, and we will see us entering Be'ezrat Hashem to Bet HaMikdash, B'mera B'yameinu, Amen. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Bless.
Thanks, bye.